Another incumbent falls short on the campaign trail. The Department of Health and Human Services seeks information on vaccines. And a nominee to lead the Food and Drug Administration has been chosen. For the week of August 24th, 2026. From Capitol Hill in Washington, D.C., this is Health on the Hill. Brought to you by Heart Health Strategies. I'm Matt Duckworth.
Place in 2024 with the 72 injections by age 18. So you are saying, especially to states that are willing, take a look at this scientific assessment. These are the gold standard childhood vaccine recommendations, and you should put this into your state law so that when parents go to enroll their kids in school, they do not have to meet some of the requirements for the vaccines that are no longer recommended for all children.
Kicking off this week's episode with news from the White House, where President Donald Trump plans to nominate White House policy aide Dr. Heidi Overton to lead the Food and Drug Administration. Overton is a medical doctor who's board certified in public health and general preventive medicine. She also has a doctorate in clinical investigation. She's currently a deputy assistant to the president for domestic policy, working on healthcare issues. Overton previously led the Center for Healthy America at the America First Policy Institute and worked as a White House fellow during the president's first term in office. Overton's involvement in the president's recent executive order to reduce the number of vaccines recommended for children has been criticized by Senator Bill Cassidy, a Republican physician from Louisiana. In a social media post last week, Cassidy said, quote, "Dr. Overton's active role in last week's nonsensical vaccine executive order calls into question her commitment to standing up for sound science and protecting children's health. That alone is disqualifying," unquote. Cassidy chairs the Senate Health, Education, Labor, and Pensions, or HELP Committee, which is responsible for considering FDA commissioner nominations. Many Democrats have already pledged to oppose her nomination as well. The FDA has been without a permanent leader since Commissioner Marty McCary resigned in the month of May. Moving to news from Capitol Hill today, where House Oversight and Government Reform Committee Chairman James Comer, a Republican from Kentucky, is requesting information from former U.S. Department of Health and Human Services Secretary Javier Becerra as part of a prior investigation into the nation's COVID-19 response. The request relates to the diary and phone records of Dr. Anthony Fauci, which Comer alleges were withheld by HHS last Congress. In a letter, Comer writes, quote, "The committee is concerned that you either intentionally withheld this information or that you failed to conduct an adequate search of the department's systems as requested in the November 2nd, 2023 letter." He also asks whether any Biden administration officials advised or pressured Becerra to omit those documents from the agency's response to the committee at that time. Comer requests a response from Becerra, and no later than September 2nd.
So finally, I'll just finish with this. Obviously, the goal is to win in November. And if you've watched some of my discussions and speeches over the last few weeks, I have said from day one, I believe we are the best candidate to win in November. And we had two counties say that today. So
Representative Cory Mills, a Republican from Florida, lost his primary race to represent Florida's 7th congressional district last week. He was defeated by former local television news reporter Ryan Elijah, who you heard at the top. Mills has served in Congress since 2023 and currently sits on the Foreign Affairs and Armed Services Committees. He's been investigated by the House Ethics Committee over the last year due to allegations of fraud, as well as misconduct towards women. Final news today, where the U.S. Department of Health and Human Services has released a request for information seeking input on federal vaccine recommendation categories and the role of shared clinical decision-making. The RFI questions whether the 3 vaccine categories currently used in the federal vaccine recommendations, including routine, risk-based, and shared clinical decision-making, are adequate, clear, and well understood, and asks whether additional or different categories should be adopted. The department also requests comment on, quote, the considerations that should be relied upon in setting vaccine recommendations, including the availability and strength of available scientific evidence, the appropriate approach when randomized controlled trial evidence is limited or absent, a presumption in favor of individual autonomy and religious freedom, the downstream legal and programmatic consequences of category assignment, and the communication practices necessary to earn and maintain public trust, unquote. Comments to the RFI are due by September 20th. Thanks again for tuning into this week's episode of Health on the Hill, brought to you by Heart Health Strategies. For more information on this week's healthcare happenings in the administration and on Capitol Hill, you can visit our website at hhs.com and click on the news section at the top of the page. You can subscribe anywhere you get your podcasts, including Apple Podcasts, Spotify, YouTube, and SoundCloud. Did we miss a story you wanted to hear this week? If so, email me at mduckworth@hhs.com, and we may include it in our next episode. Have a great week, and stay healthy.